Yo, oh shit, what was I even gonna talk about today? Uh, Genuinely, I don't know what I came here to talk about. I just need a way to vent. This don't gotta be a video or nothing, of course, but it's more of a practice to me of talking louder, more with my voice, as in projecting what I'm saying and stuttering less. It's more of a like exercise for me, cause truth be told, I think I stutter way too much. Not necessarily in the disability category, but more in the sense of saying a lot and the word like and but and you know what I mean? Type shit. So more of a way to vent, talk louder, more like getting comfortable in my skin and talking. Cause despite how I want to sound in videos and shit, and how I think I sound in my head and how I talk, that's not how I talk in real life. Simply put, like there's that sense of social anxiety that takes over, like subconsciously, you know. In your head, you think you're the tough shit, but when you get out in the field, you realize you're not that guy. And it's kind of funny, but also kind of like humbling or some shit, and it's slightly annoying. You know what I mean? You see a fine shit, you can't say what the fuck you wanted to say. You stuttering over your words, tripping over it, and no bitch is gonna take you serious when you do that. Also, I think uh going off of what I recorded 2 days ago on that topic of niggas being fake and like not being real or comfortable in their skin. I believe that, god damn, I believe that people need to put on a show in a sense to convince themselves that they're not who they think they are. Because most people's view on themselves, mine included, I could preach for myself. We have a disdained and cracked view of ourselves. Most people will see you and they'll think you're a cool ass person and you're all right, but in your head, you'll think everybody's judging you. I think a big part of that is niggas judge themselves based off their thoughts, while everybody else judges you based off your actions. The the context of that and like that feeling alone is pretty fucking big, and it's a big pressure and thinking you're watched everywhere when genuinely niggas don't give a fuck about you. You know, like not even to be mean. It's just niggas don't give a fuck about you. They have their own life and they have their own struggles and worries that don't include you, simply put. You know what I mean? I just find it funny that wow, everybody else, like the person you think is judging you, at the same time of you thinking that is judging themselves the same way you do yourself. It's almost ironic to a point. And I think the more that people really begin to understand that you're not as important as you think, the easier it'll be to communicate with others and talk with others and actually be yourself. Because the idea that I believe most people have is that this is a big ass sitcom, life itself, and you're under a microscope and under a camera 24/7, and your life is being streamed like it's a fucking subathon. When in reality, nobody gives a fuck about you and your situation. It's all a mental game and mental gymnastics that you put on yourself, which will create social anxiety, which will create all that fear. And it's easier said than done to bust out of that shit. Very much so. It's easy to say, yeah, just stop thinking that way. But is it? Nah, I mean, niggas will have such a niggas will hold themselves to such a standard that it becomes hard to be yourself. And it gets scary to be yourself because you don't want people to see who you truly are because you think you're ugly. And the person who you believe to be beautiful, man, woman, fucking transgender, the person you believe to be beautiful themselves is ugly. Just as ugly as you, if not worse. Well, some of y'all niggas is too far gone. But simply put, yeah, I think niggas need to stop holding themselves so high. Because a lot of people do that. Whether you would like to believe it or not, you hold yourself to a high pedestal which you don't deserve to be in which you aren't at. Like, you're not at that pedestal. Niggas do not care about you. You're not that important, simply put. And it's less of a ego thing. You're not that important, and more of a humbling that you're not that important. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a calm down, relax, nigga. Niggas aren't looking at you the way you think they're looking at you. It's more of a let's look at this from a neutral standpoint and from a universe standpoint. The Earth spins and has billions of lives, but in the case of a fucking black hole, our lives are minuscule and very much so unimportant. And in general, we're unimportant. If you're talking about a bigger standpoint and bigger a bigger sense as a whole, all of us are unimportant. All of us are minuscule. The quicker that people start to embrace that, they're not as important as they think they are. The quicker it'll be to, well, quicker it'll be for society get back to normal, and for people to stop giving a fuck about what others think of themselves. As I said before, it's very much so easier said than done because having that in the back of your mind 24/7 for all of your life, it's kind of hard to break that cycle and just be like, yeah, niggas don't really care about me, you know. But that's what it is. Niggas don't care about you. The only person's opinion you should care about is yourself. And that opinion shouldn't be raised to such a high standard that it is in society right now. I'm just talking out of my ass. You know, I'm a 20-year-old who hasn't done shit. I haven't went out and explored. I haven't traveled the world or done public interviews and shit. You know, I'm not a fucking crazy fucking pseudo social construct guy, you know? I'm just a normal nigga who who thought about starting a YouTube and wants a platform to speak, which started out as just a way to vent and cope, but it's hoping that it'll become bigger. And there's millions of people with a view like mine who can't speak on that shit. And I just hope that I myself will be able to and become like not necessarily famous, but just someone who has a platform to express themselves and speak up where others don't. Not necessarily be a voice for the people, but more of a area and place to question things and like really dive deep into your own psyche and what makes you you. That's really all I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to do at least like 10 minutes a day of speaking to myself, speaking into the microphone, getting used to being behind the microphone so it doesn't become so forced to get behind the mic to speak for myself, to have it flow naturally. Because eventually I want to get to the point where I can interview people, where I'm traveling the world and asking people questions about their lives and how they view whatever I'm asking about, whatever the topic is. And with the situation I'm in right now, that's just not going to happen. I simply don't have that confidence nor that experience to be able to navigate that kind of situation. So this here is just a build up or a training experience, if you will. That's all. I'm probably not gonna post this, but if I do, then hey, props on me. I don't think I will, cause I don't think my confidence is up there yet to be judged by 40 million niggas. But if I do, then that's a win and a move in the right direction and a start on me embracing myself and my words of telling niggas to not give a fuck about what others think of you and to stop holding yourself at such a high standard. You know what I mean? That's all.